Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel for a brand new video on Assetto Corsa Competizione, this wonderful sim, and we're back for yet another video on the GT4. So this time I'm actually going to be making a video on a car that I've wanted to make a separate video because it's so special and it is labeled as the hardest car, as the hardest GT4 car in the game, and you may already know which car I'm talking about, and it's the Gran Turismo, the Maserati Gran Turismo MC GT4. Firstly, I would like to say it's one of my favorite cars since when I was a kid. Like I remember having like a die-cast of this car, and I would just love watching this car and, you know, play with it and all that. But yeah, it's a fantastic car. I feel like it's probably one of the most beautiful cars in the GT4 DLC. But yeah, this car, the speciality that it has pretty much is that it has no ABS, no traction control. So you can understand from that it's probably going to be the hardest car to drive on this DLC, and it's probably going to be the slowest as well. But we're not going to be like that straight away. You know, I'm also making a video based on which GT4 car is faster, based on my driving skill and my driving preferences. So I will be posting that very soon to see where actually the Maserati is standing besides the rest of the GT4 grid. But we're going to be having a 15-minute race around Laguna Seca, which is a fairly nice and easy, I would say, track to learn the car a little bit. It's also a short track with a few elevation changes, and it's actually one of the best tracks on the Intercontinental Park. As much as I love Kyalami, you know, we just have to admit that, you know, Laguna Seca is a little bit of a special track. But despite that, still my favorite track on this game is Kyalami. 100%. But we're going to be starting, as you already know, from the back of the grid with the Maserati against the whole GT4 grid. Of course, this is not representative of the speed of the car. I'm going to be making a separate video on all the cars, like combined a video based on all the cars to see which car really is the faster car. And I feel like it's probably one of the most exciting videos because whoever drives like me, like whoever likes my driving style and drives just like me, then you're probably going to be liking the next video, because you could actually find out which car best suits to your driving style. But enough of that talking, let's get into the race. As you can see, 15-minute race. It's 1 PM here in Laguna Seca, and I'm actually very excited whenever I start a race on the Assetto Corsa Competizione. I feel like the graphics and all that just really get you into the game. I feel like it's something that Assetto Corsa Competizione, as we got the green light there, has really the upper hand. As you can see, already losing the back end, but in comparison to F2 and all those games, that's what ACC has. It's the graphics and the immersion that you get when you're in the car. So that's a very good thing that's an advantage for ACC. As we go around the outside of probably the Audi R8 as well. We're now behind the Aston Martin. We're going to be completing 2 moves already into lap 1 and into turn 1, and trying to go up the inside of the Aston Martin there. But what you're going to be seeing around through this video is the fact that the braking is going to be very hard with the ABS off. You know, most of the times we put ABS at least on 1 or 2, you know. But with this car, ABS off, as much as it has good brakes, sometimes you're going to miss some braking zones and it's more vulnerable to mistakes, let's just say. But one thing to say about this car as well, and I'm going to let you enjoy, as we don't really have a good exit. The Audi now is going to try and go up the inside. AI here on lap 1 is actually very slow. We're going to be trying to go up the inside of the Aston Martin. Let's see, can we complete the move? Just about can there. Better race from the Aston Martin, but now in terms of the left-hander now, up the inside of the Aston Martin, still side by side. And I feel like just about now we've completed yet another move, and we're now up into P27, and we've gained 3 positions already on lap 1. And next up we got the BMW M4, if I'm correct. So one thing about this car is its beautiful engine sound. Basically, I feel like also from the rest of the GT4 field, it's probably the most beautiful car from the rest of the cars. It just looks beautiful in my opinion, but it's also preference there. As much as I love the Ginetta, the MC Gran Turismo here, the Maserati, is much more beautiful, let's just say that. But yeah, it's still like a very beautiful car to drive around. Just for even if you're not fast in it, I feel like it's a very beautiful car to drive in a race. But it also has a fantastic engine sound, and I want you guys to listen to that engine sound, because it's actually very raw. It's such an amazing engine sound for me. I don't know if it's just because I really like this car, but personally I feel like it's such a fantastic engine. Inside of the BMW, and probably into the final corner we're going to be completing the move there. BMW tried to go for a move on the Alpine, but he just couldn't complete it. Up into P26 now, and we're looking fairly good there, as we said, the personal fastest lap. But yeah, that engine sound was amazing. I feel like it's so hard and so roaring, the engine, which makes the engine sound so great in comparison to like a McLaren, which sounds a little bit like more electronic, I'm gonna say. I know this term doesn't exist, but that's how I'm feeling. This sounds like a real fast road car, let's just say. But complete a move on the BMW. That's gonna be actually where our race is gonna be heading towards, fighting for 25th, 26th position. That's where we're going to be looking to be fighting up against them. Now we're going to be trying to obviously complete a move on the Alpine, and going here, you try to get a good exit around here, which is very hard when you're in a fight with the AI. And two now, the Chicane, trying to go for the dive up the inside of the Alpine. Any chance we can complete the move? No way. He's going to get the better exit, and he's going to be maintaining that 25th position there. So right ahead of us, it's Porsche Cayman, as the BMW here tries to take advantage of my wide line. And with only 10 minutes to go, we need to overtake the Alpine and probably move even more forwards. The car actually feels nice for the time being. It doesn't feel like it really wants to give up on the brakes or the traction. Of course, there's that traction control off is giving you some moments on some very slow corners as we go up the inside of the Alpine. Could he complete the move there into turn number 1? We were a little bit later on the brakes, a little bit brave, and going to be completing the move on the Alpine up into 25th position. And next up ahead of us, the Porsche Cayman, which is fighting actually with an Audi R8. So for the time being, we haven't made any mistakes on the brakes just yet, and we haven't actually slid the car, we haven't slid the car too much. So I feel like it's a little bit of an unfair thing to say, but oh god, as I was talking about the brakes, we lock up a little bit there, the front wheels, and we're going to be running wide into this corner, giving the position back to the Alpine. That was a very unfortunate moment, and oh god, I turned into early. Oh god, whenever I make a mistake, not with this car, like whenever I make a mistake on this game, I tend to make even more mistakes as the race goes on. I don't know why is this happening with me, but like for the next couple of corners I make a few mistakes for some weird reason, but yeah, that's just how I am around this game. Now no more mistakes now. Let's just try and re-overtake the Alpine. With only 8 minutes to go, I feel like it's probably going to be a fight between me and the Alpine. There's no way we can catch up to the Porsche now after that mistake, but that was the first time we've made a mistake on those tires. And you can see here on the like HED, let's just say, at the front, whenever I lock up, the tires from green turn to red there on the indication. So you can understand that this car is probably going to be a little bit tough under braking after, if you're not careful, and after a long period of time. But still, I feel like it's a decent car for the time being. It's not as bad as I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be much tougher and much harder. But for the time being, it's actually quite good. As we don't really get a good exit there. The BMW trying to go for a move there, but there was no space on the inside. So let's see, can we actually catch up back to the Alpine and trying to make for a move? But for the time being, the Alpine has been extending its gap.
Still a long way to go.
Very close to the Alpine indeed, going up the inside into the final corner, and we're going to be regaining our position from the Alpine, probably side by side now to the start finish straight. The Maserati has a better top speed than the Alpine, and we're going to be showing that off right there. The BMW is really stuck behind me now. This is going to be a fantastic turn there into turn number 1. The BMW is probably going to be finally completing the move on the Alpine, and it's also going to be completing the move on me. No, just about there. The BMW seems to be very fast at the moment, and we're actually going to be experiencing that fairly soon into the next video of ACC. I'm going to be driving all the GT4 cars, I've already told you, around Kielami to see which is the best car for me personally, for my driving preferences. But back up to 25th position, and this time we should not make a mistake. We should be a little bit careful. With only 6 minutes to go, let's just try and open up the gap from the BMW and probably catch up to the Porsche and the Audi, which are having a ding-dong battle there all race long. As you can see, once again, the Porsche trying to go up the inside of the Audi there. It's a fantastic fight up ahead. I'd love to join in there, but slightly touched the curve there, and the car, weirdly enough, just tended to go to the right there. Almost lost everything there. But I was not in control of the car, so don't touch that curve there. You're learning from my videos, you know, you're learning from my mistakes, and that's what you're learning from my mistake as well. But now with 5 minutes to go, we run wide in the final corner. That's going to give the inside line to the BMW. Just not about. The BMW has a better top speed than the Maserati, but still he couldn't complete the move there. Into turn number 1, probably a dive for the BMW. Oh, once again run wide there, front left lock up, and that's going to be a move there for the BMW, which suddenly slows down there into the exit. We got a better exit, but we couldn't take advantage of it. Safety rating penalty, whatever. Whatever, honestly, with a safety rating. It's down to 70, as you can see. Like, I just can't increase it. I can't bother increasing that, because even with the AI, I have contacts here and there. But here we go. Lost the position of the BMW. 2 mistakes in 2 corners, yet again with a brake. So that ABS off is not really helping us out, if I'm honest. So I don't know if it's the ABS off or is it just me making mistakes. But of course ABS on 0 isn't helping whatsoever. That's the Audi once again fighting up ahead with the Porsche. This is actually amazing. The Porsche can't get through the Audi. The Audi defending like crazy. And it's some great defending, to be honest. He's holding on very nicely. But could we actually re-overtake the BMW? That's my main question now. I would love to re-overtake the BMW, but I highly doubt it if we keep on making such mistakes. We had the upper head in the fight with the BMW, but now look at how much time we gained to the final corner. 310 stop. There's so much time hidden in this car that I'm yet to find, and this happens with every single car. Whatever car you're choosing on a race, you're always going to be finding time, like on corners that you weren't expecting to find time. Look at this, 5/10 up from my previous lap. Look at how much time you can gain with the car. So that's why I feel like performance videos, and the one that I'm going to be making very soon, I'm not really realistic, because I try to do the same amount of laps that I did with each car, and from that sense you would understand how comfortable I feel in the car, how fast the car is for my driving preferences. I feel like that's one way to really test out its car based on you. But yeah, I feel like if you can't really if you don't really test all the cars for your own, nothing really matters. I feel like my opinion matters for those who drive just like me, but no one drives the same. So I'd suggest you to try all of these cars, even the Gran Turismo, this Maserati. You know, some people might say the Maserati feels great, you know. It doesn't feel different than any other car, and I'm fussed with it. So if you tweak a little bit the setup and all that, you can fix the brakes and all that, you know. I feel like it's a fairly good car, and it has a lot of potential. Of course, I'm driving the aggressive setup, so probably some changes in the brake bias or something like some changes on the setup could make this car fairly good. Because at the time being, in my opinion, it's standing very strongly besides the rest of the GT4 grid. You know, we're not much slower than the Audis or the Aston Martins. We're faster than the Alpines, I think. But yeah, I'll be driving this car even on some online races, and we'll see how it really compares with the rest of the GT4 grid, but driven by other real drivers. But with only 1 minute and 40 seconds to go, I highly doubt we're going to be touching up to the BMW, which has actually caught up to the fight between the Porsche and the Audi. Probably the Audi is going to be staying ahead of the Porsche for the rest of the race. But look at how much time you're just gaining there. 3/10 gained off only this corner there. It's just very nice to see that you're gaining time. Very good exit through there. 6/10 improvement. Almost a 133 we're going to be setting now. So you can see we're closing down the gap from the BMW, and that's how you can actually see that the Maserati is a very capable car if you drive exactly like it wants you to drive. So if you drive on a certain way that fits the Maserati driving style, then you're probably going to be faster than plenty of cars. But it just really depends. It really depends. It's not such a bad car as people say. It's not the slowest GT4 car in my opinion. Like, yeah, it depends on your driving style. We caught up to the back of the BMW suddenly as I was doubting my chances of overtaking him. Now we're very close, and I could try and go for a dive up the inside into the final corner probably. We're quite a long way back, and we're going to be side by side in the final corner. That's not going to be very good for us because the BMW has the better straight line speed, and he's going to be, yeah, just running away there as my safety rating has dropped down to 69. And the BMW is going to be maintaining this position, unfortunately, and I highly doubt we're going to be now overtaking him anytime soon. Probably into the final quarter once again if we don't make any mistakes, but he's already opening up the gap. I just need to get a perfect lap, which I'm not really doing at the moment. The leader has finished the race, as you can see there, and we couldn't actually catch up to the back of the BMW. That final lap was not ideal. It was 1.1 seconds slower than my personal best. But overall, I feel like this car has a lot of potential. It's not as bad as people want it to be. It's not the worst car in the game, and it's not also the hardest car in the game. I'm just honest with you. 26th position. Of course, we've only gained 4 positions, but we've dominated the Alpine, the Aston Martin, the Audi, and the McLaren. We were much faster than those 4 cars. So, and I think that had we not made any mistakes and we were a little bit more careful, had we known that, you know, the one negative is the ABS. You know, we fought with the traction control. We had no issues whatsoever with the traction control. But had I been a little bit more cautious under braking, since I knew that this car has no ABS and we made no mistakes, I feel like we would have been ahead of the BMW and probably fighting with the Porsche and the Audi. So, of course, this car needs further testing in order to understand its real power and where it really stands in between the grid. But I feel like on the performance test, we're really going to be seeing where this car can stand between the rest of the GT4 grid. I feel like it's a very good car. As I've already told you, probably the most beautiful car from the GT4 grid. I just love the design of it. But yeah, I really enjoy this. I feel like with this car you can test the ACC physics engine to its limit, since, you know, no assist, and you can really see when the car is sliding. You can understand when the car wants to slide, which is a very positive thing. You don't get that with every single car. Like, there are cars where it slides but you don't really know why it slid or how it slid. You know, it's a little bit weird. But with this car I had the actual feeling of when and how and why it slid. Like, on that final corner, I would understand. I would get like, okay, I was very early on the power and that's probably the reason we slid. But yeah, I'm just very happy to have tried out this car, and I'm very happy that Kunis actually put this car in the game. But that's all for today, guys. If you enjoyed, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and yeah, share this video with any of your friends. Make sure you support my videos if you want to see more ACC content. And until next video, guys, which is going to be SLRE, I'll catch you later. Goodbye.